All right, welcome in to another edition of Keeping Up with Spring Garden Athletics. We're here with girls basketball team, and Coach, who do you have with you today?
I have senior Avery Stewart, shooting guard, and senior Olivia Law, who does a little bit of everything for us. She plays just about every position for us. So
Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
Coach, I don't even know how to put this into words. You guys just hosted an event here. We had Tim Miller show up and Hazel Green, and these two young ladies, along with their teammates and the rest of your staff, performed at an elite level. And to me, it was great for Spring Garden, obviously, but it was even bigger for girls basketball in this state. I'd like for you to speak on it, and then these two young ladies to speak on it from a player standpoint.
Yeah, first of all, I guess the biggest thing about that whole event was, thank Tim Miller for dropping all the big classification, big school comparison to a small school and willing to come down here and play us. And, it was hard to get him to come down, but once he realized what all was involved in it, he thought it was one of the best things that he's ever did, and he felt good for girls basketball. But it was a great event for us, a great night for us. These girls have always been challenged since the 7th grade, and they've never backed down from a challenge. We've talked about that before, and I didn't get to say it with these two sitting here. Last week it was Kristen and Maggie, and we talked about how they've been that way since youngsters. They've always played over their head competition, and they've always rose to that challenge. And we've traveled around and played so much, and these two were just like the rest of the team. When word started getting out that Hazel Green might be coming here, that they got real excited, and you could see that their eyes lit up. And it was a challenge that they wanted. And they, once again, rose to the occasion and executed the game plan really well. And win or lose, if we'd have lost that game, I thought we performed well enough that it was a win for us either way. But luckily we came out on top with a win, and I think we can use that going forward.
You two young ladies, same kind of question, but to host an event like that, to where you got it here in this very gym where you've spent countless hours, blood, sweat, and tears, and to have such a mystique type team come in, 7-time defending 6-state champion. What was that like as a player?
I mean, for me, I thought it was really cool because for the last few years we've had to travel, go out of state to be able to play like big teams, and I can remember for a long time us wanting to play Hazel Green just because we know where our standard is, and they're kind of right there in the same boat. So I just thought it was really cool that we got to play a big team, and it was them here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like she said, I mean, we've always talked about, because we went up there and played, but we never had the chance to play them. We've always played other teams, and we've always had to kind of just chase good teams, and we've never had them come here. And it was just cool to have that opportunity to play teams like that here.
Coach, you mentioned something earlier about, last week it was Kristen and Maggie in these seats. Now it's Olivia and Stewart in these seats, but it don't matter who sits in those seats from your team. There's one thing that identifies all Spring Garden players to me, and it's the hardest thing to get over into coaching, in my opinion, nowadays, is they're very coachable. They got a lot of grit, and the effort's there regardless. Like Olivia was killing herself out there the other night. I mean, literally. Can you talk about that? And that's a tribute to what you've built here. I mean, you guys have built here.
Well, we know each other well, but it really thrills me to hear somebody like you to say that about our team and about these players, because we do pride ourselves on that stuff, but we don't flaunt it. We don't go out and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's just kind of become who we are. And, there's several girls that could be sitting here right now but not willing to pay the price. And there's a price to pay that nobody knows about. You talk about, the number of shots you have to get up that nobody sees you miss to become a good shooter. Well, there's a lot more to the game of basketball than just shooting that a lot of these girls go through that nobody ever sees what they go through, and they make it look so easy on the court. A lot of coaches, a lot of fans just take it for granted that that's a Spring Garden girl. Well, there is a standard here that they try to play to, but it takes special people to want to fill their shoes every year, and to be that player that refuses to back down from a challenge, wants to be a competitor, but still do it with grace. Just a sense of grace And I feel like these two represent that as well as anybody I've ever coached.
What's it like for you guys? When people see you wearing that S&G out in public and they know you play for Spring Garden, there's a certain mystique that you guys carry for a good reason. You've been dominant, but what's that like, just going in public, being a Spring Garden girl?
I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Or they'll see how many state championships you got. Like, I think it's just cool, like the community we have. And that's another thing, like getting to play Hazel Green here. Being able to play at our court where our fans could come out and watch that was really cool.
You guys can go to Mobile and do the same thing.
I mean, it's cool. Like, people see us like wearing a Spring Garden shirt. They're like, oh, like y'all play basketball, like, all this stuff, and it's just really cool that's what we're known for. And I mean, it's what people have done in the past, like players before us and stuff. It's what they've done.
You know, it's a beautiful thing to watch when a team plays defense. I've seen a lot of defensive games recently. The two best defensive basketball games I've seen in recent memory was when Robbie and them beat Midfield a couple years ago. It was one of the best basketball games I've ever seen played. And y'all's defensive effort the other day was just something to behold. I don't know how you game plan that, but can you talk about what went into that, and then you ladies talk about the execution of his game plan?
Oh, it's, you know, we've got several banners hanging in this gym, and there's other, you know, area championships, county championships, obviously the state championships, but, you know, every one of those that I look at, I can immediately think about the defensive game plan that was so important to make that happen. It's not about who scored points, who was MVP. It's none of that. It was about the defensive game plan and what we had to do to stop that team, put ourselves in a position to win. And I'd love to take credit for that, but Coach Dinah, my wife, who's my assistant, she is very detailed in defense, and she usually comes up with a defense game plan. I just kind of am the enforcer on that. I take the other side of that, but she usually comes up with the game plan. Coach McDonald does a fantastic job breaking down film. He's a constant film studier. Always, he knows what a girl can do, left hand, right hand, and then him and Dinah collaborate that together, and we talk it out and we instill it. And you know, some game plans are easy, some of them are hard. Sometimes I feel like we probably, you know, we can overanalyze things sometimes. But you know, even though we know our defense is a staple, something we have to do to be successful, we still got to be who we are. You know, we still got to be good in the areas that we can be good at. And so it's a perfect mix. When Dinah was coaching at Jacksonville State, her and I used to scout film all the time for her college games, and we would, you know, break down games, and she'd always ask me what I saw. I'd ask her what she saw. So we trust each other. If she says we got to do this, I don't even go back and look at the film again, or I just say, okay, let's do it. You know, and it's just our success here would not be here without Dinah and Damon, what they do kind of behind the scenes and at practice. They're very good coaches.
You young ladies, I just say what it is. I may get scrutiny for this, but it's not cool to play defense no more. I mean, a lot of people, it's cool to score and have your name in the newspaper or what we do or whatever, but you guys take pride and it means something to you. Can y'all talk on that?
Well, I know Coach Dana always tells us, like, offense isn't going to always be there, but your defense has to show up every single day. And you can outscore a team, but if you don't have defense, it's hard to win. So I think that's something they definitely have, like, instilled in us, is defense wins games. It's not just how many points you score.
It's absolutely true.
And she always says, like, before big games, like, if you're nervous or something and, like, you got extra energy, like, use that on the defensive end, not on the offensive, because she always says, like, offense will win games, but defense is going to win you championships.
That's a fact. That is a fact. That and rebounding, I think.
Yes.
Go hand in hand. Coach, I don't want to talk your head off today. Just definitely wanted to recap that and a couple other things going forward. I mean, you guys have area coming up. You've been doing this a long time. You know what's in front of you. These girls know what's in front of them. Just talk about your mindset moving forward.
Yeah, it's it's that time of the year where you can slip and go backwards if you're not careful. You can be too conservative, and you can lose some of your sharpness. You can lose some conditioning if you're just sitting back and waiting. And we don't do that. We go forward immediately when the playoffs start and try to. Yesterday was a hard practice. Today will be a hard practice, and when I say that, it's not that we're adjusting things for others. We got to be who we are. It is still about us. Make sure we do what we do well, what we've been doing for the last years that worked for us. And so that preparation is kind of the same, but it's not sit back and wait. We still want to make sure we try to play above our schedule all year. The only 1A teams we play are our area teams. So now that it is down just to 1A teams, we got to make sure that we're still preparing at a big level. And I think these girls do a good job of that.
Absolutely. Same question for you guys, just your mindset moving forward.
I mean, we really
Go ahead.
just
Sorry.
have to take it one at a time. It's 0-0 right now, every game. I mean, it's a win or go home. So I think we're all in the mindset of one game at a time. Do what we've got to do at practice to make sure we're ready once the big games get here.
That's right, 'cause David and Goliath in the Bible for a reason. I know you guys don't want to be on the Goliath side. That's not the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and especially when we get to them stretches where we have a week in between games, it's just important to just show up at practice every day, with mindset to get better, so you don't lose any progress you've made throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And that's hard, Bo. It's hard.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one of the hardest things about coaching is when the playoffs start and how you handle the big gaps between. We played our last regular season game Monday night. And we wasn't going to play again until Saturday, and I went in the locker room and said, "Hey, no practice tomorrow." I mean, really? On a Tuesday, no practice? I said, "Yeah, but look going forward what the schedule's going to be like." So I don't know what they did personally on their day off. I know I enjoyed my day off. I just tried. Well, actually, I went scouting 2 basketball games, but at the same time, it was kind of refreshed. I think that's important this time of the year is your body is tough, physical, calloused up. Keep your body in shape, but it's priceless to refresh the brain. You got to have those days where you just flush it all out and go be a kid, and whatever that is that satisfies you, go do it. And I like that part of this time of the year where you can give a kid that kind of freedom to just forget about things for one day.
As the brain goes, the body does too. So if you're mentally fatigued, your body will be
Absolutely.
fatigued too. That's a fact. I'm a case of they have too much work. Man, it's been an honor. Appreciate you guys sitting in with us. Looking forward to being back here next week, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.